All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Off the Crypto Cuff. Welcome to our table. We try to keep the conversation friendly and open, just to get help everybody understand, the crypto market, better. So please add your comments, interact. We're your hosts. I'm Jeffrey. This is my friend Jesse. So welcome. All right. So I'm still working on the whiskey pig. So nothing new. Forgot the bottle, so I don't have it to show off. But it's a little bit of amaretto in here and orange liqueur. Basically a weird man's old fashioned.
Right. I'm just drinking 1792 straight with the Cuba ice. So I'm just trying to finish this bottle up. It's pretty good. I don't know if you've ever had 1792 or not.
No, I haven't tried that one.
It's a small batch.
Okay. So I want to start this with some non-news. And when I do post this video, I want to try to remember to make sure that there's a link in the video for Heresy Financial, because he breaks this down very well. There was a thing that went across the news that Saudi Arabia basically stopped the petrodollar deal, and Heresy Financial, and then a bunch of articles shortly followed saying that it was fake news. So in the modern era, it's like, okay, well, which news is real news? And if all you have is, Google for your search, you have no clue. Well, Heresy Financial, he's a financial guy. He does advisory work. Unless it's off of YouTube, he can't advise you unless he knows your situation. So, but either way, really smart guy. And he broke it down in way better than I ever could. Basically, the TLDR, they've been dealing with other currencies, off and on. It just depends on negotiation. Yes, they're involved with the BRICS nations. OPEC's a thing. But ultimately, the dollar is dying. And as said, he breaks it down very well in how cycles of currencies go. So I would recommend watching that video. So what I thought was news really isn't the news, and pretty much anybody that's in the crypto market is already doing it because they actually understand where potentially the dollar is going. If that's not the reason why you're in crypto, you might want to, I would say, learn a little bit more, because it's not necessarily get rich quick, even though that you can. That's not the reason why to be in it. It should be to actually protect what wealth you have. You do that through assets. And that's my opinion, not advice, but I consider crypto to be an asset, like a house, like gold, like silver. These are assets. These are things that are a store of value. Either way, that's rant number one. Try to keep it quick.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's probably about 50% of my investments essentially are in crypto. So it's, I kind of try to blend it across the two, because you just don't know, obviously how anything's going to go in any direction, but it's just another asset to my portfolio, basically.
Mm-hmm. So that was that.
You're gonna link that in that video in the comments.
Yeah, and I want to make sure that Heresy's actually in my frequently watched channels. Make sure he's there, but I want to link that video specifically. So there's a quick link to it. So it was a very good breakdown. If you haven't watched it or watched him, you ought to take a look at him. But actually watch that video. It was a really good breakdown. But yeah, I think he worked for Goldman Sachs and then decided to do YouTube full time, and made that his basically his full-time job, and basically built effectively a brand. And he does markets, basically a trading program, and basically that's what he does, right? So he basically has an entire thing that he does sell. I'm not involved with that. I'm not trying to pitch his product, but the videos that he puts out, in my opinion, are high quality, and they're relatively easy to understand.
Yeah. He's pretty educated, it sounds like, if he was Goldman Sachs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. I think that's the one it was, but it was basically one of those big trading firms that he worked for in the past.
Yeah, I got you.
So
you had some other stuff you were putting up. Is that what you're just talk about a little bit?
I did. I was going to give you a second to talk if you said you found something that you wanted to talk about.
They're just something that came across in the Coin Bites. Kind of caught my attention. It was talking about the future Fortune 500 companies are embracing crypto use cases. Coinbase's latest state crypto reports examines how America's top public companies are moving on chain. Well, that's kind of interesting because that's the big thing we're always looking for is the big money to start moving in, and we've kind of I feel like we've kind of known that they're always been moving in just quietly. Bitcoin is obviously the one we've heard, of other big companies getting into, like Tesla and a few other ones, Elon Musk. But I think they went and I'm trying to think. Let me see, go back down here. I kind of read about it, but it didn't. They kind of called out some things. They talked about a few other. Let's see here. Sorry. Actually, I must have read something different. This is different. Anyways, it just seemed interesting. There's more, I could talk about another time, but a little more detail. Yeah. Okay, speakers including Mark Cuban, ARK Investment CEO Kathy Wood.
Yeah, Kathy Wood. That's who I was trying to think of. I was like, yeah, no, there's MicroStrategy, Tesla, ARK Invest. Those are the big three that I know of that have been very vocal in space for a long time.
Yep. PayPal exec Jose Fernandez. He talks about stable coins. There was something else though about Ethereum ETFs are on deck for last week. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Gary Gensler clarified that ETFs, which saw initial improvements in May, are expected to be fully approved and listed within the next 3 months. While many analysts are not anticipating ETFs will have the same level of demand as Bitcoin ETFs, the funds are still expected to attract billions of dollars in inflows. Spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S. have already seen massive inflows since launch. Investment. What was it talking about?
Well, I mean, and anything that gets the institutional money, because there's a lot of people that have money to invest, but they want something that's productized in a format that they understand. And that's where the ETFs come in.
Yeah, I was talking about the Australian Security Exchange. That's what I was trying to figure out where it was listing at what exchange. And it wasn't the U.S. exchange, but it was another country. So,
yeah. To bring up the SEC, their enforcement arm has let go of consensus, at least for Ethereum 2.0. But I think I heard this on Coin Bureau that their pre-sale that they did when they first launched Ethereum, because even though that Ethereum was mined, they had a pre-mine and then they actually sold for investment. Mm-hmm. So that's still under investigation potentially. So just because the 2.0 is fine, it doesn't mean that, everybody involved is not necessarily out of hot water as far as the SEC is concerned.
Right.
So we'll see if anything comes about that, especially the way the XRP lawsuit's been going. Who knows? Because, that was kind of a split ruling.
Yeah, it wasn't 100%.
It was in 100 in either direction, which is fine. It's better than what it could have been. It's not the worst case scenario.
Right.
Not the best case, but, it still is actually probably a good ruling. It's just like, yes, you started your life off as a security. You're not now. Mm-hmm. Right. So it gives a little bit of from the bench clarity, it's like, come on, it's just like this should have come from Congress a decade ago.
Right. Yeah, we have a lot worse problems in this country.
Yeah. So here's one. You know, MSNBC is trying to claim that Trump's a flip-flopper. I mean, granted, he changed his mind on it. So he's now accepting donations in crypto. And even the Winklevoss twins actually put up $2 million in Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but, MSNBC is trying to twist this to be like, well, Trump was, trying to ban 4 years ago TikTok, but now he's not for the ban. So they're trying to say that, well, it's just like, if he's changing his tune, and if you've ever heard this tune before, it's like, okay, it's like, well, it's election season. I'm not going to get my panties in a wad over it. It's just like, yeah, it's like he's accepting it for donations. It's not that he's just saying something; he's actually applying it.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, I thought wasn't necessarily he was trying to push it to for somebody in a U.S. company to buy it.
For TikTok, that's what the bill is technically supposed to do, but apparently there's a lot of like poison pills in there.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody was trying to point out that, and there's a lot of back and forth on this, and I kind of agree with Tim Pool because he did a lot of research.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's saying is like you have the country in question has to be on the official U.S. national adversaries list, and that list is controlled by Congress, and I think it's only updatable by basically a passed bill. So, and I think it's Iran, North Korea, Russia. I forgot who was on that list, but it's like 5 countries.
Yeah,
it's very well enumerated. So, if somebody knows the list or a link to it, please put in the comments. But either way, so but the concern is that since Elon Musk is technically South African, they can force him to sell off X.
Yeah.
That's the concern, because he's extreme. He's extreme pro free speech.
Right.
He doesn't do that. Censoring, and he cleaned up the platform quite a bit. I'm not said. I don't know really how. I don't use X. I haven't used Twitter in the past, so I have no basis of comparison before or after. But that is the concern. Is just like, is it really a poison pill with the way they actually drafted the bill and got it passed through?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really agree with the way social media squashes people's stuff. Anyways, I think it's, I don't know. It's tough because it's a private company, so they should be able to do what they want, essentially, to an extent, as long as within the bounds of the laws. But it's supposed to be free speech, so but also like they're not the government, so they're keeping people from having free speech when they're pushing people down for saying certain things, or banning them for saying certain things, or I don't know. I'm all over the place with it because I just don't know. I'm like,
it's overly complicated. It is because it's basically, at what point does a company become effectively a town square? And I'm right there with you, because I am a free speech absolutist. And that means that it's like if I start a platform, but it also comes with the fact of those rules of engagement. Is this like can I set my rules? But what is the enforcement against me if I'm the one that's breaking my own rules?
Yeah.
And did Twitter really break their own rules? It's like, did they actually clearly lay them out, But that turns into the other thing is that, again, this is where it's like, when does a company or a platform become so big it's effectively a public square, where if you want to have a voice, the only place to go is to that public square.
Right.
It's
the thing is, like, sure, they can do what they want, essentially, like I was saying, but they open themselves up for lawsuits because people are going to try to sue them, but that's, I'm sure they do a lot of lawsuits, but it's the I think the part for me that struggle is that they have people are so influenced from it. So it's like somebody can say something on there and run with it, and it just becomes viral, and people don't really know if it's true or not. So it can go both ways. So I kind of understand why there's some rules with that, but also, like, depending on whatever platform and their political views, they can waive an entire, group of people a certain way if they want to, based on how they serve up the information.
And that's true for all of them. I mean, it's like Facebook found guilty of this.
Way. I'm not saying like one way or another, but they can make it go. It could, Elon Musk could do the same thing just in his favor of what his political views are. I mean, granted, he's trying to be more like, hey, whatever you put on here is what you put on there. But it's,
it is definitely a fine line.
I don't know. Yeah.
And on top of that is just like, and he's actually kind of fighting with other countries at this point, because they're trying to apply their own criminal law against him. I think it's actually Australia that's doing this. It's like, because some post went up and that was making fun of, some people in leadership, and they didn't like it, and he wouldn't actually take it down, and they're saying, well, it's in violation of our laws. I was like, well, if I was Elon Musk, I'd be like, well, is this like, blast out a message or, a tweet to everybody in Australia that's on the platform, be like, well, we're shutting down because of your government, and then pull the plug, just for that country.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's just like, I pulled it. I just pulled the whole platform for your entire country. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, that's why I was mentioning the whole thing with the exchange too, is with the Australian exchange. Thought that was kind of interesting because they're kind of, I think Australia is very sort of on the liberal side of politics in general, and it's kind of been the crypto's not necessarily favored so much on that side. So it's, but
yeah, no, I mean, should we call it liberal or just authoritarian?
I think it's more authoritarian, but yeah, because they've done some things there that are interesting to me. So it's,
yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, there's actually a few things that I found kind of interesting that I was going to bring up. Let me drag this one down so I can see it. I've never used CoinStats, but apparently they also are a wallet, and they got hacked recently.
Oh, there's a big hack in the automotive world industry. Did you hear about that? I don't know.
Automotive?
Yeah. There's some software most automotive companies use in the US to track pretty much everything they do when it comes to sales. And they use it, it ties in with their payroll, ties in with their commissions, ties in with a lot of stuff. And I guess some Russian hackers hacked it, and they're holding it for ransom, encrypted everything. And it's a pretty big deal because some car companies are pretty much shut their doors because they can't operate because of it. Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's been.
How many times has ransomware happened to a company in the last decade for people not to understand that you need good backups, so that when somebody does this horseshit, You just give them the finger, restore from backup.
Yep.
Okay, pay a couple people overtime to figure out what happened over the delta between your backup and now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this company's they're gonna go under. They're not, it's because apparently they're gonna pay it so they can get everything, so they can, but after that, because they're gonna be out for a while, so they're gonna, companies are having to move over to some of, there's other options out there. It's just they're one of the biggest ones. But it was pretty interesting. It's kind of scary if you think about it, because like it could happen, to anybody really.
So here's one. We're both involved in this, kind of. So this is off of CoinDesk. Tether to stop minting stablecoin USDT on Algorand and EOS. So the circulating supply of the dollar-linked stablecoin on the two blockchains represents only about 0.1% of the total USD supply. So technically, we'd still have Circle, but do you think this would slow Algorand's adoption any?
Say that again.
So do you think this will slow Algorand's adoption any?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
And it's kind of like weird. It says the project aims to strike a balance between maintainability, usage, and community interest. Circulation. Let's see. There was a thing on here. It's a strategic transition to prioritize community-driven blockchain support. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. Say it again. Community-driven to support blockchain.
Yeah, a strategic transition to prioritize community-driven blockchain support.
Sounds like it's trying to gain more support on the blockchain.
Yeah, so they said that they're currently distributing across 16 different blockchains. The vast majority of USDT, however, sits on just two chains, roughly 59 billion on Tron and 52 billion on Ethereum. So most tethers on those two chains.
Huh.
So I guess they're just consolidating down and reducing their workload, maybe.
Yeah, maybe simplify a little bit.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the other thing I sent was into that video was Larry Fink posted his annual letter to investors. So apparently he does two different letters, one to CEOs, and then one to basically the sheeple.
The sheeple?
Everybody else.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so basically he's trying to get it to where all money funnels into basically BlackRock through investments. And so basically, it's like, so Bitcoin or basically anything that is not in the stock market is a bad investment. He wants everything to funnel into the stock market, or more specifically into things that he controls. That way they can do more ESG style investing. You'll own nothing and be happy.
Right.
But it was, your favorite Brit again.
Oh, yeah. Your favorite Brit.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. Things have been pretty quiet lately. I know Bitcoin's kind of dropped down a little, kind of far.
And not to say it's the reason why, but apparently Germany actually sold a like 600 million or something like that. Yeah. A lot. So yeah, so there was more liquidations to market, of course, and it's everything that leads up to it. And from what I understand, there's a lot of selling from the miners at the moment, but they're technically selling at a loss. So maybe that, they're just reading their books, and then this is their last real profit take,
Yeah.
before they really have to bind down and hold. And historically, what happens is there's a consolidation in the mining market. So basically, one or two miners will actually end up folding because they can't afford to sell, but they can't afford to maintain their systems. So they'll end up closing shop, filing for bankruptcy, and then another crypto mining company will buy them up for their assets.
Yeah.
But that hasn't happened yet. So will that happen again? Maybe.
Said there was an all-time high for U.S. Bitcoin miners market cap, which was kind of interesting. And I thought that was interesting that the market cap was high, but the price went down. So the 14 publicly listed Bitcoin miners in the U.S. have collectively set a new record for market value, hitting a high of $22.8 billion on June 15th, according to J.P. Morgan.
Oh, I want to share something with you. No, man, it's like this is actually kind of cool. I'm kind of curious now. I bet you XRP's got something similar, but this is actually kind of neat. Let me share the screen. Share screen with others. Yep. And there we go. Yep. It's an ODS. Check this out. So this is there's a new metric site for Algorand. So it actually that's the general overview. The tokenomics page, so you can actually see distribution. So there's the treasury, there's the governance, XGov. Apparently, Algorand did a burn, and I didn't know that. There's a ledger page.
Is this just for Algorand?
This is just Algorand.
Okay. Allo. Or Video Ninja.
Let me show you the link. I said there's a lot of like good apps on Algorand that I wish were on other pages. Like ASA Stats is a really good one that I use almost all the time. Vestige is one that's really good that I use all the time. There's a lot of like more DEX screeners, more like across the board. They've got, a lot of chains and DEXs. But it's like I would like to, see it's like, getting into a coin, see something like a Vestige, but for Algorand. I know for XRP, or this for XRP. I would like to see that, or Matic even,
Well, I mean, this is. I mean, it's what I'm seeing. It's interesting, but you could build this yourself. You just need the hooks to grab that information.
Well, that is true, but I am not a UI UX guy.
Yeah. I did a little of that in my last contract. It's funny because it looks just like the stuff we used. Like it's just different colors but
yeah,
kind of the same setup. That's cool.
Explore what's trending. Oh, that's cool. Popular assets. Now that's cool.
Nice.
So you can actually see which assets are topping the chain. Pepe. Oh, that is just down hilarious. Freaking meme coins. No, so Planet's number one, USDC. I stopped sharing.
Yeah. No, it's still showing.
Okay, it's out of OBS, but I found the Explorer. So I'm still finding features.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're able to set alerts on this thing. Monitor any Algorand address. Interesting. With Alio alerts, you can follow any algo address and receive notifications when something happens on them. Wait a minute. So I can spy on other people with this?
Not spy necessarily.
Or if somebody produces a coin, I can track what they're doing with it, maybe.
Right.
See if they're getting ready for a pump and dump. Okay. Well, it's under resources. Yeah, I'm trying to finish that in a hurry.
It's mostly water at that point.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Let me click off of that. Oops. So did you have anything else?
Not really.
As you said, it's been kind of slow besides, the fact, the last couple of weeks has been depressing price-wise.
Yeah. Things are just kind of consolidating, as we like to say.
Yeah. Consolidating. It's like, buying opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't done any buying, honestly. I should be, but I'm not. I'm just trying to play it cool right now. I'm not trying to FOMO.
Which is really, and that is hard to do. It's just like, because you take a look at it and then you're like, this is the buying opportunity. Let me buy some, and of course now I'm just looking through all the random news. It's like all these buying, not them buying, but these price predictions. Some of them are more ridiculous than others.
Yeah.
It's like $250 XRP. It's like,
maybe
someday. Someday.
It's not going to be next week or next month, but yeah, maybe someday.
If you're patient, and again, if you're looking at it, long term as a preservation of wealth,
right?
Yeah, then you'll do really well in any market. But if you're looking at it, as it's like, just chasing to get rich quick, chances are you're going to lose.
Yep.
And that's the unfortunate part. And this comes up, comes up a lot, is that, and we witness this, it's just, the market tops when retail comes in. Retail is the normal people. That's, you, me, and probably anybody listening. And when the market tops, that's normal people buying in, and they're thinking it's going to continue going up. And then all of a sudden it pops and crashes and people lose their shirts.
Yeah.
That's just normal people, and wealth just got transferred. They think it's not fair, but they're doing it to themselves, and they keep doing it. The buying opportunity already came and went for the most part. It's like, we're looking at the prices and we're like, some of these prices are actually lower than when it was at its low during the bear market. Now I'm looking at this and be like, I wish I could be buying. But, it's
stick to the plan.
Yes, I know. But it's just like, that is just like the time to have been buying is between, what was it? The tail end of 2022. No, that's when the crash started. Dollar cost average all the way up until January of this year. That was a buying opportunity. That was about 2 whole years to build up a bag. Now's the time really to sit back and see what happens. I don't know when the top is going to be. I still think Bitcoin's going to top somewhere between July and August this year. It may double top the way it did last time, but as it wanes down, altcoins will start to balloon. Who knows what's going to happen, because we're very dependent on an inflationary market, because the reason why crypto's valued so high is because of money printing. The money printer's turned off, interest rates are still high, but we are in an election cycle. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
time will tell. That's why you just sit back and watch. Hope that all the preparation before will pay off in the end, or at least look better than what we were prior.
Yep. So
inflation's dropped down to about 50% of where from 2020. Pre-2020, it's in the spike. It's come back down about half of that.
And I always have a problem with that number, because it's always year-on-year inflation.
Right.
Prices are still spiked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Eggs are still expensive. Beef is still expensive. It's like life is still expensive.
Yeah.
Watching the quartering, and he's just destroying McDonald's because of their $20 fast food burger. It's just,
we don't have the dollar menu anymore. Now it's like the $2.50 menu.
Yeah,
it's like
it's just all ridiculous and insane, and it's only going to effectively get worse. And again, it's like the inflationary target is the inflationary target year on year is 2%. If you're saving your money in a regular savings account at 0.2%, you're losing money year on year. Yep. Period in the story. You have to have a way of actually saving it. Again, I'm going to add that link to Heresy Financial, because he explained a lot of this, and gave more detail on actually how to not beat inflation, but at least tie it if you're wanting to hold cash. There are strategies to where you can actually beat it, but that requires more financial planning, and probably even talking to a financial planner. So I will leave that to a professional.
Yeah.
But I want to leave out on putting you kind of on the hot seat, because I do have a question. Because the original intent of doing this was actually at a certain point going live. How many subscribers do we need before we actually start considering doing that?
Well, I thought most platforms won't even let you do it until you have a certain number of subscribers.
Well, and what would be your minimum? But it's like, I think we could actually do it now, even not because we'd be streaming live on Rumble. Whether or not we could go live on YouTube is a different thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't have a number?
Well, yeah, I don't even know if I'm comfortable with that yet either. So.
Oh, you're not comfortable going live? And I was like seeing the chat window. No.
I mean, I don't. I'm not sure we'd have. We're even close to a number of people that would tune in right when we're doing it anyhow. So it's.
You never know. It's just like, I'm thinking this is like, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, that'll be the point to start talking seriously about doing this live. That way we can actually have the chat room. People can interact with us.
Yeah.
Post questions.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. And time will tell.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm done. You're done. Drinks are empty.
Drinks are empty.
Cheers.
So thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.